Hey, it's Jared at Nintendo World Report with...
Matt Zawodniak.
And Joe DeVader.
We played a little game. What's it called?
Super Mario Brothers.
No, we didn't. It's Crash Team Racing. Nitro fueled.
Is the subtitle Nitro Fueled?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So we did not get to play the Switch version, but we got some hands-on time with the PlayStation 4 version, and also the one of the developers, and also I think it was someone from just Activision's general publishing team was there to tell us more about the game. They actually told us about some brand new modes, which I think is the most interesting thing that we learned about today, because they've got something that they call the Grand Prix mode that doesn't work like Grand Prix in other games.
Yeah, when you think of Grand Prix, you like... When they mentioned Grand Prix to me, I thought it was just going to be like, oh, it's going to be like the cups in Mario Kart. But it's not that at all. It's basically like the season pass, the battle pass in Fortnite, I guess. But it's free?
Yeah, it's... And I asked for clarification afterwards, too. They said that it was going to be a limited time event like the battle passes are. But basically, it works just like battle passes in Fortnite or Apex Legends or whatever your preferred game with them is, where you play the game and you don't have to play any particular mode. You can just play and you'll get. It's a lot like experience points, but it's points that go into the battle pass. In this case, into the Grand Prix, and you'll unlock rewards as you get further into that. And the rewards are all cosmetic. It's certain characters. I think they called them, the group of new characters they were made was the Nitro something.
I don't remember
Nitro
what
Squad?
The Nitro Squad. I think it was. So all the new characters they showed us that were playable in the build that we played as well were just like the Bandicoot ladies. Mm-hmm. So like Crash's girlfriend from the first game. I believe I've never played the original Crash Team Racing, but the way they were talking made me think that those characters are in the original Crash Team Racing, I guess. But it was basically all of the female Bandicoots. The only one I recognized was the one from Crash 1.
Yeah, and they're gonna do multiple limited time Grand Prix as time goes on, and they're gonna have different cosmetics that you can get over the course of them, different characters and stuff that would eventually become available in the rest of the game through the regular in-game currency that you get just from playing the game. They were very clear I don't know if they said there'd be no real money microtransactions at all, but they definitely said you'd be able to get everything without them. And what they had multiple Grand Prix to announce, one of which had a prehistoric back in time theme where you would get baby versions of all the different characters. Yeah. But the most significant thing,
finally really being Mario Kart.
But the real significant thing there was that one of the characters that you'd unlock in that back in time Grand Prix was going to be Spyro the Dragon.
No, Spyro has his own Grand Prix.
Oh, they told me afterwards that it was in the
prehistoric one. I thought they mentioned that one of the Grand Prix was going to be called Spyro and Friends and was going to include Spyro. That's what I heard him say.
Afterwards, they made it sound to me like it was going to be part of that back in time one, but I could be wrong. You understood the Grand Prix a lot better than I did in general, so I'm going to trust your word more than I trust mine.
Either way, Spyro is coming to Crash Team Racing.
Yeah.
Wait, Spyro?
Yeah, Spyro.
Spyro?
You know, that character from Skylander.
From Spyro Reignited.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised to see that Spyro was going to be in the game. They did mention it as like the fans of those two franchises will finally get the crossover they've always wanted, which that franchise had a crossover once, but I don't think they showed up in the same game. There were two GBA games where Crash fought Spyro's villain and Spyro fought Cortex.
I forgot about that. But also they were both in Skylanders.
They are also both in Skylanders, but let's not get into that. So yeah, I think that's really cool. We didn't get to play with Spyro. Unfortunately, he was not part of the build. I am going to assume he's not quite ready for anybody to actually play with him.
Yeah, they said that the Grand Prix were going to be post-launch stuff. So that says to me that the games are going to come out and there's not going to be a Grand Prix right away. There's going to be a little bit of time. And I don't remember if they said specifically that Spyro would be in the second Grand Prix, but he's definitely not in the first. So it's going to...
They said he was in the third.
In the third? Yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit of time before you get to play as Spyro, but he is coming. He's going to be in Crash Team Racing. And we got to spend a little bit of time playing it too, and none of that was really new or exciting, especially to people who...
We did see some new tracks. The Grand Prix also, that is something we should mention. Every Grand Prix is also going to come with a free new track. One brand new track.
Yeah. And again, they said it was absolutely free. No real money was going to be involved in the Grand Prix. But this was my first time ever playing any form of Crash Team Racing, and I think I've played like a race of the original once, but this is a complex kart racing game. There are a lot of mechanics going on, which I started to get the hang of. I started to really understand it, but it's not quite as pick up and play as other kart racers are. But I'm not going to necessarily say that's a bad thing. It makes it very difficult to play in a demo experience where you just sat down in front of a controller and said go. But once I started to understand it, I actually started to really like all the different things that were going on. There's more specific skill that goes into when you're drifting and boosting in your drift. The boost at the start of a race took
is a lot harder to get. I also had a lot of trouble with that. I think you got it once, and then I got it once.
I got it. I think I got it both times actually.
Did you? I don't think you got it the second time.
Probably not. But I like that. I like that it's because in Mario Kart you just gotta once you know when to start holding the button, you just hold the button and you're golden.
To get the boost, because they actually had it on one of the info screens, it basically said hit the gas right before it changes to green.
Well, there was a gauge at the bottom right of the screen, and when you hit the accelerate button, X, it was X on the PlayStation controller. I assume it's going to be A on Switch controller. You would hit the button, and that gauge would fill up, and it would fill up real quick. And if you let go of the button, then it would go back down. And you wanted it to be like it would go from green to orange to red, and you would want it to be in the orange section as the race started. And then you would get the boost. And I think that's a lot more interesting than the way that it does in Mario Kart. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of the things going on in the game. It's not as simple as Mario Kart. You can't just pick up and play it in the same way.
Definitely a higher skill wall.
But I think most of it is more interesting. And they also said there's a lot of new customization stuff, I think. We saw character customization. You could put skins on your character, you could put decals on your cart, change the colors of your cart and everything, and I believe they said that is brand new.
I think so. And they also mentioned that every character has their own, for the Grand Prix, every character has their own special costume, and that's the final unlock.
Yeah, they specifically they called it a legendary costume.
Yeah, and those, I believe they specified, if you don't get them during the Grand Prix, you don't get them. But they also... I don't think any of us saw this, because I don't think anybody in that room got first place in any race whatsoever.
There was one race where the top four were all the CPU players, none of the human players too well.
There were multiple races like that.
Yeah.
And but he did mention that all of those skins actually have unique animations that play if you happen to get first while you have them. So they are a little for the girl bandicoots that were playable in that. All of the new skins were like a racing suit.
Yeah, a racing tracksuit
hairstyle.
I didn't get the chance to look at multiple characters, legendary skins, but they said that I got the impression they would all be racing suits, but I just assumed that they didn't actually say that.
Yeah, the ones that they showed us were all racing suits. That's the only thing I can say for sure.
Yeah. Any
final words about Crash?
It's tough. It took me a while to figure it out, but I like it. I wasn't really, to be honest, I wasn't expecting too much of it because I do really like Mario Kart. So it's like, well, is it really going to be as good as Mario Kart? And yeah, it kind of is. It really deserves to be compared favorably to Mario Kart and other great kart racing games like that. I've never played the original Crash Team Racing. I'm looking at it from the perspective of this is a new game being made today, and I think that it succeeds really well in that regard. It doesn't feel like it's just some old game that people just would want for nostalgia. It feels like a great game to be playing in 2019.
I just want to say that when you watch our footage and you notice which one's me, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I don't know how to play Crash Team Racing, and it does legitimately have a higher skill wall. But I think given a little bit more time with that game, I'd have a lot more fun with it. Which is saying something because I had a good amount of fun playing it, even though I got 8th place in both of my races.
Yeah, from the short time with it, the level design seems really great, and you can't have too many kart racers. In fact, I'm really hoping, we'll have like 7 more in the near future.
Bloodborne kart, let's make it happen.
Yeah, dude. Yes, absolutely. From Software, please bring Bloodborne Kart to Switch. That is our Switch port that we want from E3. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Stay tuned to more E3 coverage.